How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the skins that make it to the top of the workshop this week. And just for the new people, that does not mean all of these wonderful skins are making it in this week or that they ever will. It's just these are the ones that are in the top running. So, yeah, that's just up to Hulk, and 8 only make it every week, sometimes more. Hopefully that happens more often. Anywho, we've got a burlap set for you, and it's to match the burlap shark head wrap. And the head wrap kind of looked a little more like a skin shark, and this kind of looks a little more like pajamas, kind of, or a costume. So I'm not too sure, if they really vibe all that much. But hey, we'll just have to see what everyone feels like. Definitely a lot of people love that shark head wrap, so I could see this still doing quite well. Next up, we've got some Clogs sandals. There's a green version, a blue version. I think the blue just looked so much better with the socks. I don't know, that's just my own personal thing. You can check it out in the workshop link down in the video description. It's always there, so you can show your support to the artists, or if you didn't catch the name, there you go. One way or another, I could see everyone wanting to rock this, especially with the amount of people that love those sandal socks. Which were a hide boot skin. These are actual boots. So yeah, definitely could be a very interesting one. Next up, we've got what seems as a no-brainer, the Force Raiders Roadsign set. I almost called it high qual for a second there. And as you can see, it is exactly what you would expect from the set. Lots of straps and kind of like a Kevlar-ish kind of look to it. There you go. This one blends in quite well. The whole set, honestly, you're pretty hard to see in bushes, so I could see a lot of people begging for the rest of this set for sure. Last for our armor, we've got a high qual set for you. This is the Chosen Champion set by Anathan. And as you can see here, it's got like little feathers going across the chest. It's very vibrant colors, very kind of maybe Incan, Aztec kind of feel to it, And yeah, just really, really sick. Definitely love the look of this. Very bright and colorful. As you can see, the face mask itself has a lot of cool details to it in bright colors. Next up, we got some sleeping bags for you, starting with the Rust Vibes sleeping bag. And as you can see, it's got all sorts of stuff going on like the rest of the set. There's some Rust vehicles everywhere. You've got the Scrap Heli and a balloon and the Bradley and the Chinook and the custom cars, and it's all sorts of stuff going on with it. Then, next, if we head on over to this bag, we've got the Neon Sleeping Bag by Andy Boo, and yeah, this is just kind of one you really have to see it at night. Kind of has that grid to it like the Neon does with the chain link, but, obviously that wouldn't be too comfortable for a sleeping bag, but hey, not like we actually sleep in them, right? Then over here, we've got a furnace for you. This one is the Black Forge by Johnny. And it looks like he is continuing that set. A lot of people like the doors, and this furnace looks absolutely mean. Definitely even better at night. Next, we've got some small boxes for you, starting out with this one here. And we've got just a simple labeled box. It kind of has a camo colored similar to the pumpkins. Got a little pumpkin stencil, and the word simply painted on their food. There's some corn there. There you have it. Moving along over here, we've got another box for you, and this one says Boom. Top quality Boom, Cobalt and Company. There's a little satchel drawn on there, and just this old-timey look to it is just something very, very cool. I can see a lot of people loving for sure. Then over here, we've got this neon box for you. It is the Glow Box by Red Rex for weapons. And yeah, it says weapons on the side there. On the side, you got a Revy, and on the top, there's an AK. And then there's kind of like a, chicken wire grid kind of behind it there. And then, lastly, for our small boxes, we've got a small meds box for you. This one has some glow. And as you can see, it's got the syringes and the actual med kit stenciled on there. Lastly, for boxes, we've got a large box for you, and this one is part of the X-Ray set by Hatson, and is, well, the armor version. So there you go. Armor storage. Next, we've got some doors for you, starting out with this one right here. Baby on Home. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Baby on Home, don't read, please. Raid F-. Definitely love the humor on this one. I'm not sure if that's a translation problem with it or if it was done on purpose, because then there's the misspelling that's crossed out in the bottom. One way or another, it's got some cool decals here on the back. Definitely a creative little wooden door. Next, we've got the roommate number 2 door for you. This is a continuation in excuse me, set, and is number 2 in the roommate. Next over here we've got one, and this one was a little bit borderline just for the fact that it's maybe overly textured. I mean, first of all, elephant doesn't really make sense in any way with rust, and it's armored, and it's also tiny. And yeah, so I think it's a really cool door, but maybe the elephant, not quite. I don't know, maybe Help will like it. We'll just have to see. It's definitely a very cool sculpt, so I didn't want to skip it. Talking about cool sculpts, over here we've got something to look like your RGB computer setup, and we've got the RGB door by Vase. Next we've got a double door for you, and this is the control room double door by Mad Polygon. And it's been pretty popular as a single door, so hey, maybe this double door would make it in. It definitely has a great glow that can help you navigate your base at night. Next, we've got a couple garage doors, starting out with the Subby garage door by Vitalik. And yeah, well, there you go. You know, we've got Shippy, and maybe there'll be Shubby. We'll just have to see. Shubby, Subby. There we go. Next, we've got a Happy Unicorn. Not to be confused with the Rainbow Unicorn or Brony set. This is just something on its own, and, well, you know, there's this type of people that love this now, so we'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know if it's gone from irony to something else now at this point. Speaking of irony, over here we've got some kind of, like, cute-looking cartoon character mermaid carrying some rust AKs and a crab crawling out of a skull there. This one screams all sorts of irony, and yeah, with the ocean update is somewhat on theme, I think. One way or another, definitely one I can see a lot of people rocking for the humor. Next over here, we've got something a little more on the trippy side. This Hazzy definitely sees right into you, and, well, is aptly named the All-Seer Garage Door. Definitely one that looks really cool with a glow as well. Last for our garage doors, we've got the Online 24/7 door. And yeah, this one kind of does the opposite. It's there to warn you and say, hey, there's always going to be someone here. Not sure if it'll help you not get raided, but maybe you just have to see if it makes it in. Lastly, we've got an armor door for you, and it's part of the comic set. Definitely a weird thing. I'm not sure if this is going to translate too much to doors, but it definitely, with the cell shading, does look cool. So we'll just have to see how that goes. One way or another, interesting addition to the set. Let's go ahead and kill the lights and hit some of that glow here. Look at that. So cool. If only the fan spun. Next up, we got the tools and weapons for you, starting out with the Pookie Dreams Hammer. And a lot of people love the bags, and yeah, this just translates onto a hammer really well. Wouldn't have thought it would be the first thing, but it just looks really, really nice. Next, we've got another hammer for you, and this one looks like it's made out of all sorts of books. This is the Useful Knowledge Hammer, and yeah, you got the Book of Food Plants and the Build Your Own House. Yeah, that definitely seems like things that would be useful to a rust builder. Next over here, we've got a tribal hammer for you. This is the Totem Hammer by Dukes. Has this cool eagle totem on the side of it, and kind of like a more, I don't know, a cel-shaded, cartoony kind of look to the textures of it, but it makes it pop. Definitely quite cool. Next, we've got a rock for you, and this one here is the Molten Rock, and is basically, well, just, there you go, molten something. I don't know, it looks like a metal to me. Not quite dark enough to just be molten lava. Next, we've got a different rock for you, and this one is meant to look like a jellyfish. This is the Jellyfish Rock. And, well, there you have it. Jellyfish Rock. It's so smooth, and don't pick up jellyfish, guys. They'll sting you. Last in this group, we've got a knife for you. Check this one out. It is the Combat Knife Collapse by Cirque. And yeah, it just kind of has like that kind of clean cut to it, but then it's been roughed up and used. You can see it got plenty of use out of it, and yeah, that just kind of makes it fit a little more into the rustier world of Rust. Next up, we've got a crossbow for you, and it is the Tempered Crossbow. So this is a continuation in a very popular set. And as you can see, it has that same color changing effect depending on how the light hits it. Go ahead and draw it back there. And there we have it. Next, we've got another Crossy for you, and this one has kind of a shimmery little effect to it. This is the Metal Waves Crossbow by Ideal. There's that reload. And it definitely shines quite nice depending on how the light hits it. Of course, is the shimmering Ioka. Next, we've got a couple pythons for you, starting out with the lightweight python. It's a continuation, of course, in the lightweight set, and is quite a nice addition to it. Definitely does actually look like a very light python, which you wouldn't really expect. Fire a few rounds there. And there you have it. And it looks like the white sight might glow, but it does not. Oh. Next, we've got another python for you, and this one is meant to look like it's made out of old leather. This is the solid leather python. And yeah, just check that out. You can see the cracks in the old leather and everything. Definitely a pretty cool idea, for sure. Lastly, we've got one more for you, and this one is the Forgotten Python. And as you can see, it has kind of like this cobra kind of skeletal design kind of going over its rusty old parts. When you aim down the sights here, you've got a kind of red painted tip a little bit, but definitely still a lot of rust right there. Next up, we've got a custom for you, and this one is all bling bling, and it is the White Pearl SMG. And yeah, it's golden pearl, definitely something I can see a lot of people liking. It's simplistic, but quite nice. Go ahead and do a reload there for you. And of course, aiming down the sights, you've got that gold on pearl. Next, we've got an MP5 for you, and we are seeing a continuation in the War-Torn set from Ted. We got the AK, so maybe this MP5 will catch a bit of attention there. Aiming down the sights, you've got that red painted sight, but not glowing. And there's a nice reload. Next up, we've got another MP5 for you. This one's a little more on the bright side. This is the Your Death MP5 by Fresh. And yeah, it's kind of got these purple race flag going on there. Then you've got a skull with some glowing eyes, death written here and there. Aim down the sights again, very bright red sight. The Atomic MP5. This has been a pretty popular set, so I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe saw this one come on in. It's had some more adjustments to fit the rest of the set, some extra decals and details to it. Like, for instance, you can see the skull and crossbones there, and then there is a neon green tip. Of course, not glowing, unfortunately, because that's not allowed. Next, we've got an AK for you, and man, this one here is very, very clean cut. You can see a lot of people liking it for technical stuff. The only thing I could say is the white parts in the front without the camo do look a little kind of maybe too flat or so forth. Aiming down the sights here, you got a lot of different stuff going on, some carving and a red contrast to the black tips there. Last in this set, we've got an LR for you, and this one is going with the ocean theme. So we got the Shark AK last week. Maybe we'll see the Shark LR if Hulk's still feeling in the oceany mood. You can see the same Jolly Rogers down there. And another big old mean Shark drawn on the side. Aiming down the sights, not too much going on. Another Jolly Rogers, and unfortunately not too much color on the sights. Just a slightly darker kind of gray. Next up, we've got another LR for you, and this one has a much more kind of simplistic military design to it. And you can see lots of little details to it, and there's a little bit of a camo kind of thing going on. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some neon green and red against, again, that gray and black kind of camo. There's a reload. You can see the little words Elite kind of carved right in there as well. Then we got some L9s for you, starting out with this one right here. This is the Storm L96 by White, and it has this kind of like oil painting or kind of faded wood painted on kind of sunset design over the ocean on it. And then it has these kind of separated, maybe kind of carbon fiber, it looks like. It might be a fabric, but I think it's supposed to be carbon fiber, at least that's what it looks like mostly to me there. Aiming down the sights there, nothing too much, just kind of more carbon fiber in that blue dot. And there we have it. Then we've got another one for you, and this one is all sorts of bling bling. This is the Golden L9 by Little Ranger. You can see there's a little bit of, I'm guessing that's pearl right there, and then we've got a bunch of gold trim. Definitely a very, very cool looking L9. I could see a lot of people wanting to grab. Last for these L9s, we've got a continuation in the training set by Mishka with the training L9. Same deal with the kind of old kind of steel L9 look to it with that fabric kind of all, you know, held on however it can be. Nothing too much going on here, but let's be honest, you'll be wearing a sight with it. Using a sight with it. And last but not least, we've got an M249 for you, and it's got a stockless version. Not sure how Hulk or anyone will really feel about that. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but wanted to show it because it is very unique. Aiming down the sights here, you've got that bright red contrast and some new shading and so forth to kind of bring the Cold Hunter set a little more up to date. But not too much changed. Same good old Cold Hunter. That's going to do it, guys, so sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping for the most and why. I'll try to relay that info the best I can. You all stay rusty and stay tuned as I'll show the glowing weapons and tools here at the end as always.